Alright, today's issue that we're gonna take care of is the filter media is letting debris, specifically sand, enter back into the pool. Because we've had the same issue before and have actually fixed it before, I probably am pretty sure that the issue is one of the filter grids. The mesh on it has torn apart. So we're gonna open up, we're gonna back flush the DE and then crack into the DE filter and see if that's the issue. Alright, we're all ready to back flush. The multi-valve's been turned to back flush. Okay. Not here to teach how to back flush, but that's what you need to do before you start messing around with the filter. So we're going to go in, going to turn this back on. We're going to let this go so this starts coming out almost clean. Right now that's dirty. Want that water to look pretty clean. We'll back flush it a couple different times. It's coming out pretty clean, going to shut it off. Now we're going to put it to rinse, which brings it back out to this line, okay, on rinse. So we're going to rinse the filter back out through here, coming back, good enough. Going to backwash it again. Back on backwash. Let's run it again. Looking pretty clean. Gonna do that process one more time. Gonna open up the air port. Just let it drain right back out. The backwash. Gonna stop there. Next we're gonna take this nut off and open up the DE filter. This is a 7/8 inch on a pentair FNS Plus. I believe it's a 48. Okay. Alright, let's get this off. You don't want to lose any of these. There's a washer in here, okay, on the inside there. Got the spring, got another washer. You don't want to lose any of this stuff. You want to remember how it went on. There's also directions, exactly how tight it needs to be, okay? Do not remove those and pay attention to that when you tighten it back up later. Alright, sometimes you have to bang that, whatever. Alright, we got the top of the DE filter off. You can see, got a big rubber washer all the way around the bottom here. Lots of dirt and sand packed into there. Okay. Filter grids themselves look pretty good. Something probably has a leak somewhere. Up here's our manifold, top manifold on this unit. And over here is where it lays in and it goes back into the multi-valve and back to the pool. As you can see right here it says lift. It's going to say lift here. There's a place to grab this. I'm going to pick this almost straight up. We don't want to damage the gasket over here. Last time I did this, that gasket was pretty shredded up. Had to get a new one. So be prepared. You might have to replace parts when this kind of thing happens. Alright. So right now the top's off, nothing else is off of here. I'm going to pull it straight up with a little wiggle to it. Got it. Pretty simple, pretty quick. Alright, gasket's still on here. Gasket's looking good up there. Gasket down here. This thing's starting to get beat up. I've had it off a bunch of times already. Just got to clean this really good. Make sure that when the top goes on, it presses it in there good. This is the whole unit pulled out of the D filter. Right now we're just going to hose it down with a garden hose. Get all the sand and stuff off, okay? We're also going to hose down all of these grids. And we're going to look, this one I can see is original pentair grid. Some of them are going to have holes in. Probably just replace all these ones that are still pentair. Some of them are the ones I've purchased, the Gridsocks, which I think are great replacement. Double check them to make sure they're holding up and none of them have the leak. But once we get this cleaned up, we'll find it and then we'll point that out. Just rinsed it down, nothing else. Gonna take the wing nuts off. Do not lose these. Once this piece comes off, the whole top manifold's gonna come off. All the grids will come out. Should come off pretty easily. Again, not too bad. Gonna rinse this stuff down. Then I'm gonna pull every single grid out. This is the top template. This is like a real cheapy, thin plastic template. Okay. All these grids now come out one at a time here. Just pick it right up. Okay. See that? Pull it out, clean it, check it for any issues. All these grids are exactly the same except the one, what they call the last grid right here, which is a half grid. You can see that one's smaller. Everything else in here is exactly the same. Grids cleaned up. They're all laying up against the house. Over here, we have 4 with Gridsocks on them that were already in there. These other ones that look pretty raggedy, those are the pentair ones. And as you can see on a little grid, here's the issue. These grids, the material starts pulling apart and sucks in there and it basically tears it up and the dirt ends up going through there. So it's on that side, got it up here. So the small one's no good. That needs to be replaced. And since I've done this so many times, at this point I'm just doing the rest of these pentair ones. I'm not dealing with pentair anymore. Put the Gridsocks on them because I don't want to take this stuff apart again in 3 more months. You would think this kind of stuff could last 10 years, but so the process will just be to cut all this old material off and then put the new Gridsock right on it. Gridsock, pretty simple. It goes on like a pillowcase. You can see the zipper here. You just open it up, slide it on the grid, pull it down right over the nozzle part. Done. Simple. Real simple, good solution. I like what these guys do. This is how the Gridsocks come. These are left over from the last time I bought them. 2. First one, I'm going to clean up that grid and then I'll stick it on right away. Just make sure, line it up real quick. Perfect. Check that out. Alright, ready to drop in and go. One done. I'm going to cut open ones don't even have holes in them, but I'm not dealing with them anymore. We've cleaned off the 3 grids. Just have to put the new Gridsocks on those 3 and get them set up in the unit. We can start reassembling. So I'm just gonna put the Gridsocks on now. It's pretty simple. You can see how easy this is going on. This is nothing. Pull it nice and snug, zip it. Alright, we're going to stick the grids back into the unit, into the template, set them all in, and then try to line up and get our manifold on. Okay. This can look a little daunting, it just takes a little while. Just make sure the bottom's on the right side of the plastic template. You see on the bottom, one of the grids is marked for a small grid, but it's also the nearest one. Okay? It'll be the last one we stick in. 3. So as you can see, we really just have to maneuver this around with this top little plastic template. Once we get all these in place, we can then stick on the big manifold. Okay, set it on there easy, make sure everything is nice and level. Alright, put the top manifold on. Got them all matched up, lined up. They're pretty snug, okay? They're not loose in there. And got the wing nuts tightened on pretty good. You're going to tighten them good. These aren't going to be loose in here, okay? They may move a little bit, but not just loose around. Cleaned out the whole inside of the DE unit. Cleaned off the rubber hose. Cleaned off all... I'm a real stickler for cleaning stuff up. Clean this up real good. I'm going to put some petroleum jelly on it. If you want to get special pool lube, do it. That's not my thing. I'm going to put petroleum jelly on this, and then we'll be ready to do the install. Everything is ready for reassembly. Real clean in there. I actually cleaned it out with a shop vac. Here's the whole filter setup. Just going to drop it back in there. Then put the top back on. We're ready to go. Now this top manifold, where this inlet is at, this is going to be by that small grid. You got to check that. Make sure it's all set up. I'm going to lube this again. Lube the whole PVC pipe over there. Alright, it's on there. All we have to do is put the top on, put the ring on. That's it. Start filling it up. You gotta watch out with these tops too. They end up getting a lot of fiberglass on them. Looks like it's all on there. Hand tighten it.